apologize for any terrible accents that happen in this video. I'm like one of the funniest people I know, which isn't saying a lot because I know like 4 people. Hey, it's Ray. Today I wanted to do a intro video, just like what I'm going to be doing on this channel. Also, I wanted to do kind of like my everyday makeup because I thought it would be like a fun way of kind of getting this ball rolling, and then I can talk to you guys about who I am and kind of what I like to do in a day-to-day for makeup and stuff like that. And maybe I'll have like some interesting techniques that you might like to use in your own daily routine, or maybe I'll have none of that actually and I will just be a fun person to watch and or listen to if you're not actually watching me and you are doing something else like homework or playing a video game. Yeah, I see you. You're playing The Sims right now, aren't you? And listening to me. You're doing that, aren't you? Yeah. Stop it. Don't remove that ladder. Stop. Don't you do it. I see what you're doing right now. That's very mean. Stop.
Dupla. Nakasipi.
Okay, so first things first, I had to put my hair up because I don't really like the look of makeup in my hair personally. So I wanted to start with a little bit of skincare, kind of my everyday morning skincare, what I've been using and stuff like that. So the first item is this from Glow Recipe. And we're going to put that on a cotton pad and kind of swipe it all over my face. I just kind of squirt it on the cotton pad and wipe my face with it. It has antioxidants in it, so I've been using it as my antioxidant step. Now I'm going to take this, and that will be my serum step. Quick apology if you catch me looking like a little bit to the side. My monitor is like right there, so I might be glancing over that way every so often, so please excuse my glance away from the camera. Okay, patted that in. That is well and good. Next, we are going to be taking, this is all in Korean, and I will put the English name down in the description box, but it is this. Beep, beep. It is from the brand Round Lab. It is their moisturizing sunscreen. So it's been really nice because it's like really lightweight and it feels really good. And it's a lot like the Zintree, the watery hyaluronic acid sunblock that actually I really like. People on TikTok were talking about it. So, speaking of TikTok, you'll see some short form on my TikTok. I will link it below. I want to do some like TikTok hauls from like the TikTok shop, especially like indie beauty, because I get a lot of like indie beauty stuff that pops up, and I would like to try all that stuff out, especially indie beauty, because I feel like you don't really see that too much on the YouTubes. So I want to give it a whirl. Okay, that's all blended in, I'm pretty sure. Now we're gonna move on to the fun stuffs. Okie dokie, so for eyeshadow primer, we're gonna be using Adios. It's my tried and true. I will never use a different eyeshadow primer because it's the one, like, it always has just done me really well, and I don't ever want to try a different one. So we're gonna put this on. I have a couple of eyeshadow palettes because I like to mix and I like to match. Starting off, we got that. We are going to do a little bit of this shade, which is Space Dust, in the crease. So normally I would set the eyelid with a something, but I watched this like thing online that was like, don't set your eyeshadow primer because then it takes away the color potency, like the pigment. It doesn't give it as much pigment, which I'm like, well, but I don't know. It also, I have mixed feelings about that because I think sometimes with certain eyeshadows it's easier to work with if you set it because it's a little bit too sticky. But I guess whatever floats your boat. Very exciting stuff, I tell you. Okay, so next I got this really nice palette actually from Target the other day. I've been really enjoying it. The shimmer shades are very shimmery and they're very pretty. I think what I want to do is sort of darken the crease with this shade, which is called Nutmeg. So we're gonna do a little bit of that real fast. I don't exactly have a plan. I never have a plan. I just wing it. You're gonna go on this journey with me. I hope it's fun and entertaining. And I hope I'm not boring. So that's pretty good. Let's see, what do I want to do now? I think I'm gonna take, we're just gonna see how this goes. So this shade, it's called Hazelnut. I'm gonna put that all over my lid and pray that I like it. So let's go for it. So while I'm doing this, maybe a little bit about me. My name's Rachel. I'm 30 years old. I have a cat. He's an all black cat. His name is Salem because I'm really creative with names. Yeah, I totally didn't, get that name from the Sabrina the Teenage Witch sitcom from the 90s. Totally didn't. He's the bestest little cat in the whole wide world. He is my little baby. I will insert cat tax picture right there. Right there. The pink or burgundy, whatever this is. It's a pink. Pink enough. Is a little bit like dark and a little bit warm. So what I'm gonna do is I had this thought and I hope it works. There's this shade, which is my favorite shade of the palette. It's called Quasar. And I wanted to put it over it because it's going to be this like cool, like iridescent blue, kind of green, pinky switch. And so I thought it would be fun to put that over the pink. Yeah, I like it. I think it's cool. So it just adds like some dimension to the eye. Not only does it sort of cool it down, it just sort of brightens it. just looks really interesting. Let me see if I can zoom you in a bit. So, I want to add a little bit of something to the outer corners. So we're gonna do that. I think I'm going to use that shade right there, which is Eclipse. And we'll want to take that on the outer corner with this flat brush. Just gonna do a gradient, a little bit of a gradient, a little bit of a something added in the outer corner there. And got some fallout, but that's why typically when I do eyeshadow I like to do that first because I can put makeup over top of it. So on my little crease brush, take a little bit of that shade. We're just gonna blend it up and over, intensify it a little bit more. I'm pretty happy with the top of the eyes. Let's start on the face. How about it? Back to the other focal length here. Let's stick some foundation on this face. So recently what I've been liking is a mixture, and I'll tell you why. All right, so first off, there's that. Sorry, the lid's a little bit dirty. This is the Haus Labs Triclone Skin Tech Foundation, whatever the hell that means. So in 015 Fair Warm. All right, so this is surprisingly way too pale for me. There's even like one paler, which is crazy. So it's a great range, but this is too pale. In order to combat that, because I didn't want to buy another copy of the foundation because it's not cheap, I wanted to get a foundation that is cheap to mix, so that way I could just like kind of darken it a bit and still use this foundation because it is a nice foundation. I think I would like it if it actually was my shade. However, I did pick up this from the Walmart. And actually, I think I like this more than this. But it's probably because the shade's actually like maybe more my speed. It's a little bit darker than my skin tone, but I actually kind of like that because I like to go a little bit darker and then use concealer to brighten. I just think it works better. But I've been really liking the mix of the two, so that's what we're doing. We're going to mix. Before I started using the Wet n Wild foundation, I had heard a lot about it and how like good it was, and I think it's great for like the price because it's like $6, something like that. So yeah, definitely go get it. I actually like the applicator on the Wet n Wild foundation. People say they don't like it, but I actually really like it. Now, it's maybe not like the most sanitary, because I put it directly on my face, though my face is clean when I put it on. But still, I suppose it maybe isn't the most sanitary, but I actually like it, because you just go, you know. So for me, I start off with my cheeks, because that's where all my redness is. And then I do the rest of my face. My hair. Stupid little baby hairs just like get in my way. So as you can see, this is like a really good mixture. It is my skin tone. Now, because I do have a lot of redness in my cheeks, I've been using this concealer. I've been using the Natasha Denona concealer on my cheeks just to add a little bit more coverage. So especially like down here, just like right here, you know? Because even still, you can still see my redness poking through. So I just wanted to boost the coverage a bit. Looks pretty good. Shall we conceal now? So now I will be using, oh, you can't see it. Nope, it's too bright in here. You can see it against the white maybe. But this is E.L.F. This is their Hydrating Camo concealer. This concealer is okay, I would say. It is not my favorite. It does crease on me a bit. It's fine. It's nice and bright. So now we are going to blend this out. While I do this, I will tell you some ideas that I have for the channel. I want to, of course, do beauty stuff, but I want to do fashion stuff. I want to do interior design stuff. As you can see, this room is naked and boring and white. I just got a house and I thought it's a great time to start a channel where you do some interior design content, especially with it being the builder's grade, like white walls and, you know, boring whiteness. I am not a beige aesthetic person. I like color, but I'm also, I guess, not necessarily like a maximalist either. I like to keep it somewhat minimal, but at the same time I want color. I do like a little bit of balance, so a little bit of plainness isn't so bad as long as there's like a lot of pop of color and a lot of like interesting decor. Like I want to collect interesting decor, especially like going to like thrift stores and stuff like that, because thrift stores have like some of the best stuff. I'm telling you, I'm a big thrift store person. And where I'm located, we have some pretty sweet thrift stores. Not gonna lie. And what a good place to like get clothes and stuff too. We're gonna be doing that. I might have a friend join me. It'll be a good time. If you like all of that stuff, definitely subscribe to see more stuff. I'm gonna let that sit for just a moment while I do a little bit of bronzer and blush. I got a couple of cream options. We're gonna be using that. And what I like to do, well, let's actually take a brush here. So I got this, it's an Eco Tools brush, kind of like a stippling top. And if you kind of just like swirl it in there, just like that. And then with bronze. And I just kind of dab, little dabs. And then what I like to do is actually take a clean damp beauty blender. Though actually, tell you the truth, this is not a blend.
English, mother. Do you speak it?
Beauty blender. It's on a beauty blender. It's something called a Paw Paw. I got it on Amazon. I will put it down below if you want to check it out. But it's the best like beauty blender dupe I've ever found. More of that on the brush, and let's do the other side. Sometimes I'll even use the beauty blender to apply this. Or I did also buy the E.L.F. like brush set for their putty items. I like using this brush for my bronzer. Bronzer is done. Now is blush time. So we're gonna go into, it's another E.L.F. putty item. This I will actually take on my beauty blender, and we're just mushing that in there. More is needed. On the chin. On the nose. I actually probably should have used a slightly darker, maybe even like pinkier blush, because this is a little bit peachy. The reason why I chose this one is because it has a really nice luminosity to it. So that is completed. Now we're going to powder the face. For powder, we're going bougie, but I love this stuff. This is like my favorite powder of life. It is worth it in my opinion. This is the Hourglass Veil Setting Powder, the translucent, of course. It is so finely milled, and it doesn't mattify as much as some other ones, which I like because I want to keep a little bit of a shine to my face. It makes it look like skin, but I have an oily T-zone, and so I need to set my T-zone, of course, and also under my eyes because they do tend to crease. Right now I'm going to pat out the concealer under my eyes. Excuse the long face. Gotta stretch out that skin, I tell you what. Just gotta stretch it out. So, I have these little powder pens I also got from the Amazon. I will kind of put the ones that I'm using down below if you're curious. They're very nice and very inexpensive. So we're all over the place with the makeup. It's cheap, it's pricey, it's here and it's there, and I like that. I like a mixture of more inexpensive and more expensive stuff. So for whatever reason, this eye is like, it gets so much more creased. It's funny, I don't feel like I have a lot of fine lines when I don't have makeup on, but it always just settles into my lines. At some point I will find something that works better, I guess. Until then, I have not, so if you have any recommendations, let me know. So T-zone setting, you know how it goes. Making sure this will last at least a little bit, and there is some small creases in my forehead, so let's just pat those out before I set them. Don't want to be set in your creases. I used to work at the makeup department in a Macy's. And primarily, like where I worked, the counter in which I worked was a lot of like older women. And they would always tell me that they don't want to use powder because it settles into their creases. But then of course they're using a liquid product that is settling into their creases. So please, if there's any more mature women watching out there, get a powder like this Hourglass powder that is light and not too mattifying, because it is going to help so much with any amount of creasing that you might have. But just don't use too much powder, because then that's going to do the opposite effect, obviously. But that's why you pat it in. I'm sure people know that by now at this point, considering how popular like makeup and skincare is online now. So I'm hoping that people have like learned this lesson. Just in case, if you are still worried, use a little bit of powder. You won't be upset about it. Okay, so real fast, I'm going to do my brows with that, and just this little spoolie. It's perfect for the brows. I just kind of brush it through. Riveting stuff, I tell you. I mean, brows are the most interesting part of the makeup look. Is this not like peak YouTube content, folks? Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained?
Base. Done. Now, we need to go back to eye makeup. Gotta do the bottoms. So let's go back to the other focal length. So, okay, so the bottom of the eyes need to be touched in some way or another. We will go back to that shade, the Space Dust shade, and take this little pointy brush there, small little eye brush, and dab that in, knock the stuff off, and go right under. We're going to take that one darker shade from the other palette, the Nutmeg shade, kind of layer it. Focusing more on the sort of outer corner area. And then the last kind of like darker matte. This one that I did on the outer corner, which was Eclipse. Okay, that's what we're working with. And now, going to do a couple of last little things here to the eyes. Just gonna take like a really light shade and do kind of in the inner corner. This is called Sugar Crystal, just in the inner corner. And then go back to that one, the Quasar shade over top. I love this shade, it is so pretty. And now I'm going to go into some eyeliner. I'm going to use, and we're going to line the top and the bottom. We are tightening the bottom, just like that, making the bottom a little bit more seamless. So that is all done. The eyes are basically done. It just needs mascara, but we're gonna go back to the other focal length. So one sec. Pro tip, do your eyeliner and your mascara after setting spray, because unless I guess you can let it dry, but I'm not patient. If I do my liquid like eye products before my setting spray, like it will get all messy, like stuff will be like on like my upper and lower like eyes. So that's what I personally do to kind of bring a little bit more like life back into the skin. I have been really enjoying this. So the Laneige Cream Skin Spray. And what I do is I just kind of go across my face. Just like that. And you see like it sort of, like it's like a little bit hydrating, and so it kind of brings back the moisture to the skin. And then time for the last little step. Mascara. This is the Falsies Surreal. It has been my favorite mascara for quite some time now, ever since it came out. And then this one is a new one. It's in black packaging. I guess it's a different color black. I don't think it's any better or worse than the purple one. I liked the purple package better, actually. It's a prettier color. However, this, I wanted to try it. I wanted to see, like, was it different? I don't know. But no, I can't tell. So, that is the difference that this mascara makes. I think it's quite a big difference, personally. It's a really nice mascara. I'm sorry if it's really bright. I realize that it's probably really bright. All right, now the other eye. And I do like to do a couple of coats, because I like them to be very intense. So I'm gonna do that now. Alright, well that is done. So the final step, last but not least, we have to do some lipstick. I mean, who's not doing lipstick when they finish their makeup, you know? So, stay tuned for lipstick, another E.L.F. product. Let's lipstick, shall we? Lipstick is done. And now, time for the final look. Oh, this is it. What do we think? Maybe missed opportunity to do a little bit more like pastel stuff to actually match this sweater. But I will say this is what the look would be if I was going to work. So on a day-to-day, I would pair this look with this sweater. Though I probably would go maybe a little bit easier on the eyes, only because in the morning I'm like rushing and trying to get out the door by a certain time and actually never doing that. Well guys, that is it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that I wasn't a boring watch. I hope that it was informative, and I hope that it was fun, and I hope that you enjoyed. So, with that being said, I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.